representation, culture. Why do we box them into a celebration month? Why can't it be an everyday thing? Play a Bollywood song and yes, I can break it down.
Are we gonna have to go dancing after this?
I never in my wildest dreams thought that would happen.
You didn't get like a notification of like,
No,
hey, by the
nothing,
way,
nothing.
be prepared.
It's their superpower.
Absolutely.
They have two worlds that they belong to.
I agree. I think that's one of my superpowers. Yeah.
Something clicked. Like, life is too short. I want to live my purpose.
Akruti Babaria, marker.
When Akruti Babaria became a mom, she realized there weren't enough resources to help her son connect with his Indian heritage. So she built one. What started as a few cultural books turned into Kulture Khazana, a brand bringing storytelling, festivals, and heritage to life for families around the world. In this conversation, Akruti shares how she pivoted when her business came to a standstill, found the community she needed, and built a cultural movement that proves representation and entrepreneurship can go side by side. Akruti, thank you so much for being with us today. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you.
Thank you so much for having me.
What were you doing before you started Kulture Khazana? And take me through that to the spark.
So, I immigrated at the age of 16 to United States, and high school was very tough for me. I was made fun of. I had to explain myself like 5 times. Nobody understood my accent. And that kind of stays with you. Then fast forward to when I had my son. And then that's when all these feelings come back. And you're like, what I went through, I can't have him go through, nor can I have him be the kid that makes fun of other people. So what can I do about it? So I have a Bachelor of Arts in Indian classical dancing, hence the storyteller. Because through dance, I told stories and I worked with kids for 15 years.
Are we going to have to go dancing after this? Because wow, that's amazing.
Play a Bollywood song and yes, I can break it down.
So I also have a dance background. My background is in folclórico, mexicano, flamenco, the classics in a border town of Brownsville, And I took classical Indian as well. And it was so hard for me. But you also learn the storytelling and what each position means and movement. And there's a whole story behind it. I thought it was incredibly beautiful to learn that. So you've always been connected to it, even when you were here in the United States. And you wanted to make sure that your son had that same experience. The same experience of being connected to his heritage, I mean.
Yes. I had my roots in India. I learned through osmosis. So there was no real effort made for me to learn about my culture.
Yeah.
You just be. But for him, he was going to have dual identity.
Yeah.
I'm an immigrant, but he's a born American.
Yeah.
So how do I make sure that he doesn't live 2 lives? One inside the house and one outside the house.
Similarly, my parents are immigrants and my mother was from Mexico, my dad from Honduras, and I was born in the United States. And I feel like I've learned to appreciate the straddling of 2 cultures a lot more. I feel like it's part of who I am. It's part of my identity. And I think it's beautiful that as a mom, you're trying to figure out how to help him see the beauty and the love that comes from being part of 2 worlds and how they can exist in harmony. They don't have to be conflicting.
It's their superpower.
Absolutely.
They have 2 worlds that they belong to.
I agree. I think that's one of my superpowers. Yeah. I love that. So tell me the moment that you decided you had to do something about it and how that turned into Kulture Khazana.
We had a very deep personal tragedy. The same day that my husband lost his mom was the day that I had to be rushed to the hospital for ectopic pregnancy. So we suffered 2 losses that same day. And we had a 6-month-old. Like, that just changes you.
Yeah, I bet.
It changes you at the core. And as I was recovering, my husband was in India for the last rites for his mom. Something clicked. Like, life is too short. I want to live my purpose. And my calling was, okay, I have this art of storytelling. I want people to know about this culture, have fun with it. I want my son to know where his parents come from. I want his friends to really embrace him the way he is, him to be confident, and for us to just learn a little bit about each other. So I said, I'm going to do something about it.
What a beautiful spark. What a beautiful story.
So what it turned into was I went to India, I collected hundreds of books, and then I picked maybe 20 to 30 for children growing up in America.
Okay.
I became a book distributor for publishers in India. So I was selling on my website.
Okay.
But my only D2C was Amazon. And then it was wholesale to libraries and schools. And I also started a little bit of programming at museums, libraries. I would do a little bit of dance teaching. I would read them stories and I would make up these DIY crafts for them. But these kids, they loved it.
Okay.
The first time that they announced, we had 10 kids. Then the next time, they had 25 kids. Then they had to start turning people away and they said, can you do back-to-back sessions?
And at what point in that journey you thought to yourself, I need to do more, I need to go beyond just the books?
So COVID, all of a sudden I had no business. Nobody went to all these places that were my major clients. So I couldn't do programming anymore. We're all at home. Everybody's on social media because we have nothing to do. And that's the time when I was potty training my kid. Okay. So to keep him on the potty, I started telling him cultural stories, but in a very theatrical way.
Ooh, how fun. I mean, I would
And
also
he
want
would,
to be potty trained like that.
He would be like, give me more, give me more, give me more.
Yeah. Okay.
So then one day I just put a camera, I record it, and I put it on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
It took off. And then it started building this community around storytelling, where I became a story auntie. And then I had parents messaging me saying they're asking for your stories right before bedtime. They won't go to bed until they hear story auntie. So I think it's those kind of examples where it's not just the signups, but it's seeing the real impact on children that told me, okay, something needs to be done here.
Storytelling auntie. So what this is teaching me, as well as I'm hearing, is the power of storytelling when it comes to building a brand, when it comes to building a business. It is incredibly important how crucial storytelling it is when it comes to building a business.
So I could either shut shop and find a job, or I had always had this idea that, you know, there was a big part of my celebration, which is Rangoli. It's a very traditional floor art that we do with colored sand and flowers and rice, which I could never do. I live in the Northeast, and by the time our holidays come around, it's snowing. So I can't do it anyways. So I felt like this was such a big part of my childhood and one of my most favorite I couldn't share with my son. I'm like, he's going to grow up not knowing this. So I thought, okay, it's COVID. Everyone's home. They can't come to me, but what can I do that I can go to them? And I thought, what if I take this art, I turn it into a puzzle? And that's the first product I made.
You mentioned that you started selling in the Amazon store pretty early on. Tell me some of the tools that you have used at Amazon, with Amazon, that support your growth.
I have connected with some Amazon influencers, and I can see when they post something, and especially if it's gone on sale, I get sold out. Like, it really makes an impact.
Wow.
Because I can advertise only so much.
Sure.
But when someone that a consumer trusts is telling them, I have tried it, I've tested it, I use it in my home, and my kids love it, I take it to the classroom, it just brings that credibility and that authentic story again of how it's solving a problem. So yes, Amazon Influencer Program has been amazing for me.
Speaking of selling out, being labeled as Amazon's Choice. For those who don't know, can you tell me what having the label of Amazon's Choice is?
It's like the Oscar of the product on Amazon.
Great.
So if, say, for a certain category, certain keyword, that is the product that customers are clicking on or they're purchasing, they're adding to cart over and over again. and you become one of the leaders of that keyword or that category, you get the title of Amazon's choice. So it's truly driven by the consumer behavior and how many people are really either buying or clicking on your product or looking for it.
Tell me about what that was like for you as well.
The day that happened, I took a screenshot because I never in my wildest dreams thought that would happen.
You didn't get like a notification of like,
No,
hey, by the
nothing,
way,
nothing.
be prepared.
Yeah, I didn't. But when that happened, I very quickly sold out and I learned to forecast better. Now I knew that this platform could do and this label could do magic for me. And I started to invest more and allocate more inventory to Amazon as one of my top sales channels.
For me, one of the big themes of having this conversation is you can have the best of both worlds. You should lean into it. You should figure out what it is that makes you you. Where do you come from? And how do you take that and build it into something beautiful and new and yours? What would you say to the next generation of entrepreneurs in terms of leaning into where they come from, where their families come from, and who they are when building a business?
I would say culture, as niche as you think it is, it can meet commerce. And lean into your niche. Representation, culture. Why do we box them into a celebration month? Why can't it be an everyday thing? I wouldn't have a brand if I didn't tell those stories.
Yeah.
And my brand is built on authentic stories.
Sure.
And it becomes a competitive advantage. Because someone can have the best logo, someone can have the best product, but the brand you've built, the story is yours. No one can replicate your story, and no one can replicate the stories that you're creating. So it almost is like your trademark.
Looking ahead, what's the future of Kulture Khazana look like?
You know, I've thought a lot about this because there are days when I'm struggling, and I'll just be very honest here. And I'm like, I can't wait to exit.
Oh, okay.
But then I come back to my senses.
Sure.
That's not the solution, and that won't bring me joy or relief. So what I really want is, and what I see is this not just being a toy company, but it really being a movement to really help families connect not just with the culture, but with each other. And down the line, work with subject matter experts of other cultures.
Sure.
To bring their cultures into creating something that's play again for children and just keep spreading the joy of culture.
You said, I came to my senses. I come to my senses when things get hard. How? What does coming to your senses look like? And the reason I ask is because we know entrepreneurship is hard. I want to know, how can you tell someone that's stepping into this how to get over the hard, how to keep going when it's hard?
This year, I went through 2 months where I wanted to give it all up. I said, that's it. I even looked for alternatives of what I would do or how I would pivot again. I had to do my research. I had to feel my feelings.
Feel your feelings.
To be very honest, that felt like I was running away. I wasn't solving my own problem. And that's why I surround myself with very honest friends and mentors who will tell me that, listen, girl, you're just running away. And no matter where you run, these problems will follow you. I'm not saying keep having losses and keep running, but if the commerce is still making sense and you still have that drive, it's still your calling. It is figure outable.
Akruti, thank you so much for your product, for your story, for everything that you're doing. It truly is a beautiful story and amazing and inspiring to see how this is impacting all kids that want to play. Thank you so, so much.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for giving me a chance to tell my story.
That's it for this episode of This is Small Business, brought to you by Amazon. If you're into stories about what it's really like to build a brand, grow online, and keep up with everything entrepreneurship throws your way, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss the next episode. I'd also love to hear from you, so drop a comment and tell us your biggest takeaway or what part of this conversation inspired you the most. Until next time, hasta luego, and thanks for watching.